Guerschon Yabusele, you are a New York Knick. We got some breaking news early on day 2 of NBA free agency as Leon Rose has a clear mission to improve the bench, add scoring, and try to find a way to get the New York Knicks to the NBA Finals. We're going to break down Yabusele as well as some major coaching news as a favorite is emerging to be the Tom Thibodeau replacement. But this is why you subscribe to the channel, because when the Knicks make a move, we make a video. When major reports come out, we hop in the studio and get you guys a video. So subscribe, turn those notifications on, and join us as we're actually going to go live on the channel coming up here in a little bit. Shams Charania was the one to break the news this morning, saying free agent center Guerschon Yabusele has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million contract with the New York Knicks, plus a player option. So essentially going to be a 1-year deal unless things don't really go well, because if it does go well, he's probably going to opt out and look to get more money in NBA free agency. This is essentially the full taxpayer mid-level exception for the New York Knicks, so they no longer have that tool at their disposal. And with them signing Jordan Clarkson yesterday to the veteran minimum, it allowed them to use this, and they get the deal done with the 6'8", 265-pound, 29-year-old Frenchman. Yabusele, he is a really good offensive player. Last year for the Philadelphia 76ers, he averaged 11 points per game on better than 50% from the field, and you can see kind of the vision that Leon Rose had for this offseason. We're going to keep the core intact, or at least that's what it looks right now, and we're going to improve the bench. And the way we're going to do that is by adding legit scorers to this bench. You went out and you added Jordan Clarkson, who is a player that is one of the highest scoring bench pieces in NBA history. So you add a guy in him who's a 6th Man of the Year candidate every single year, average 16 points per game. You improve your bench scoring with him. Then you double down by that by going out and adding Yabusele, who last year for the 76ers was better than I think a lot of people expected, even though there was a lot of hype for him when he came over after playing really well in the Olympics, especially against Team USA. He could shoot it, man, 38% from downtown, and he's a big body. He's going to add some size to this basketball team. 6'8", a little bit short in height, but an extremely skilled player. I think a lot of people are going to be maybe a little bit surprised at what he's able to do on the offensive end. What I like about him is obviously his ability to shoot the ball, but where he has success on the floor. The top of the key, above the break, an area the Knicks really struggled with. Anunoby doesn't shoot well above the break. Mikal Bridges doesn't shoot well above the break. Yabusele, he does. He knocked down that shot at a 39.5% clip last year. League average was 35.3, so he is well above league average when it comes to knocking it down for the top of the key. That's going to open up a pick and pop opportunity for whatever ball handler that is. You're going to see a lot of Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele working in that two-man game. So I'm a big fan of this signing, and just some details on who he is. He was a former first-round pick by the Boston Celtics. Didn't really work out for him, and he kind of flamed out after 2 years in the NBA, and he kind of had to figure out who he was going to be. So after it didn't work out after those first 2 years, he made a decision, and he left the NBA at 23 years old. And really his career as a professional basketball player was in flux, and there were questions about who he was going to be and what he was going to do, and would he ever get back to the NBA. And then in the summer of 2024, he had an opportunity as he played for the French national team, and he balled out in the Olympics, and he played really well against Team USA, and I think we all remember the dunk that he had on LeBron James, which makes me a little bit more pumped up about this signing. Then he signed a deal, a very cheap deal last summer, to join the Philadelphia 76ers at 29 years old. He's got positional versatility as well. He could play the 4. He could also play the 5. I don't really want to see him and Karl Anthony Towns on the floor together because Yabusele isn't the best defender when it comes to that, but you can run with Mitchell Robinson at the 5 and Yabusele at the 4 and open up the court with that shooting. He could shoot the 3. Like we showed you the shot chart, we showed you the percentage. Last year off the catch and shoot, Yabusele knocked it down at a 39% clip, so you're adding another guy that can make teams pay if they leave them open alpha double teams, and the Knicks, they didn't shoot the ball well enough in the playoffs. 10th overall three-point percentage of the 16 teams in the playoffs, and he definitely fits that glue guy role. Like, he's willing to do the dirty work. He's going to set hard screens. He'll get in somebody's face. He's not afraid to rough anybody up. I am a big fan of the signing of Yabusele, and we actually talked about him in my dream free agent target videos. So dreams, yeah, they do come true. I was talking to my guy Chase Sr., the host of the 76ers Now channel here at Chat Sports, and he told me this. He would love to see Yabusele play for a playoff team because his game is tailor-made for the postseason. Gives you some beef, size, toughness, and has played in a bunch of big games internationally. And I agree with all that. I'm pumped up for it, and you can kind of see what the New York Knicks are trying to do, which we've kind of said on this channel time and time and time again. If you're going to have a two-man duo of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, you need to lean into who you are, which is an offensive-minded team, trying to be the best offense in the NBA. And you go out and you had two guys last year that averaged double-digit points to your bench unit. 16 points from Clarkson, 11 from Yabusele. That's 27 points per game off the bench, and I don't even think the Knicks as a bench in totality average that if you even combine two games into one. He's not a great defender. Like, there's a reason he's going for $6 million per year. If he was a great defender and a great offensive player, yeah, he'd be making a hell of a lot more money. And look, he's got an opportunity this year with the Knicks to play a lot of minutes, up his value, and maybe cash in next summer. But, man, I'm pumped up about this. Pretty damn juiced for Yabusele to be a Knick. Grade the signing for me. A, B, C, D, or F. If you would have told me the Knicks got Clarkson and Yabusele 36 hours in NBA free agency, I'd give it an A. And I think so far Leon Rose does get an A. We got to talk about the Knicks head coaching search as some major information and reports are coming out. But go to chatsports.com/Knicks sale. There is a bunch of New York Knicks items on sale. And this sideline jacket, pregame warm-up, whichever you want to call it, it's on sale. I ordered mine today, and you can get yours as well by going to chatsports.com/Knicks sale. All righty, let's start with this. Mark Stein reporting this morning, the Knicks' interest in hiring Mike Brown as their new head coach has indeed intensified, league sources say. One scenario that has emerged, New York installing James Borrego as the top assistant if Mike Brown is the ultimate choice. Ian Begley saying Mike Brown's second interview with the Knicks is today. Sources familiar with the process tell SNY. There's a possibility that other head coaching candidates may come in for second interviews. Brown garnered support in his first interview. His interview today will include Knicks owner James Dolan. It's common practice for candidates to meet with team ownership in late stages of interviews prior to final decisions being made. Knicks have also interviewed James Borrego, Taylor Jenkins, Micah Norrie, and touched base with South Carolina coach Don Staley, according to the school's athletic director. Shout out to CP, the franchise of Knicks Fan TV. He was the first one on that. Begley also saying James Borrego is currently employed by the Pelicans and under contract. So there would be hurdles to adding him to a potential Mike Brown coaching staff. Also, the Knicks like Borrego, and he's still viewed as a head coaching candidate at this point in the process. Same goes for Minnesota assistant Micah Norrie. But Mike Brown does see Borrego as an important addition on his staff if the Knicks deal goes through, as Mark Stein noted. Borrego's viewed across the league as a coach with strong offensive sets, creativity, and one who places an emphasis on ball movement, spacing, and player movement. All three coaches mentioned above have had first interviews with the Knicks. Taylor Jenkins has as well. I mentioned Borrego and Norrie specifically because they are two assistant coaches who have interviewed. Didn't mean to imply that Jenkins is not a candidate. I don't know if he is or isn't. Knicks are signaling that they could bring other coaches they've interviewed back for a second round of interviews. Mike Brown's second interview is today. So, like, you read all that and all the people I've talked to and reached out to, it sounds like Mike Brown is the lead horse in the race, and it's his job to lose at this point. And we talked early on about Mike Brown being a candidate. I had a tweet that there was a coach out there that led a offense to the number one offensive rating in the NBA. He's a four-time NBA champion. He coached Tim Duncan. He coached LeBron James. He coached Steph Curry. He learned under Greg Popovich. He learned under Steve Kerr. Like, he has a hell of a resume. Does he get the Knicks over the top? What's your one reaction to the Knicks hiring Mike Brown if it does happen? Rumors are that they want to get it done before Summer League starts in a couple of weeks, or I guess in a week or so. What would be your one reaction to the Knicks hiring Mike Brown if it does happen? My one word is safe. And I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. Because I just say this. I think Tom Thibodeau could be labeled as a head coach that had the highest floor of any head coach in the NBA. You know what a Tom Thibodeau team is. You know how they're going to perform. You know how they're going to play. You fire Tom Thibodeau, win a championship. I think Mike Brown's a good coach, but does he have a higher ceiling than Tom Thibodeau? I don't know. I wouldn't be mad at the move at all. I would like it. I respect him as a coach. He's been in this league for a long time. He's done a lot of great things. You fired a coach with a really high floor. To hire another coach with a high floor and a questionable ceiling, I don't know. I'm going to let Leon do his job. He's doing a hell of a job so far. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. First spot you would have heard about Guerschon Yabusele signing with the Knicks is on my social medias. So give me a follow over there, and let's go Knicks.